Don't forget to do the guts first before you do the spines. You can use the very tip of the knife to tear into that air bladder tissue in the backside of the backbone. Make sure to cut on the proper side of the sagittal line, the mid-sagittal line, when you do the spines.
You should send that film to her mother.
Yes. But hang on. Turn it back around again. Okay. Okay, spines. Okay, you did the posterior ventral spines. Now you have to work up and the technique of separating. Well, you got to do more on the ventral spines on the posterior, and then work up to separating the ribs on the right side of the fish. Okay. Try not to put your thumb in the trajectory of the blade, yes. Little something some of us have learned. Posterior ventral first. The posterior, the ventral spines first. Yes, in this area here. You liberate those ventral spines all the way to the backbone on the posterior. And then when you've done that,
did I do it?
Yeah, liberate them, but do it a little more, do it a little further up. Okay, and try not to mess up the belly too much. Come a little further this way. Okay, now flip the fish over. Now you're going to liberate. You're going to come from still the ventral side. So turn the fish, yeah, like that. Okay, and you're going to come up the ventral side here, and you're going to liberate on the left side of the backbone, rib by rib. Okay, and you're going to come up from here, starting with these ribs, working here, working progressively. Start off, put it in the groove, on this side of the ventral spine. Okay, and you're going to separate each rib in turn, and then you're going to work towards the dorsal spine. Work up the dorsal surface afterwards. First, getting each rib in turn with a rib separation technique. A lot easier doing each rib one at a time than trying to do a whole bunch of them at once. Okay, separated the ribs, and now you could flip it around and you can work from the dorsal surface, and of course it's going to be on the left side of the dorsal spines, in other words above the dorsal spines, not below them. Okay, and you're going to liberate the dorsal spines from the fillet, the left side of the fillet. Try now to get your thumb into the trajectory. You can liberate this here. This is still binding. You push the knife forward to liberate. Push the knife forward. There. Okay, now you can grab this edge here and peel a little. Okay, you can see. Okay, now. What side of this fin do you want to be cutting on? Underneath it or above it? I think you want to be cutting above it. You could remove it later too. All right. Touche. What operation are we doing now?
Ribs.
Ribs, okay. And why do you use the fork? Why do we use forks?
To pull them up.
Pull them up, and then you can pluck them out with your fingers once the end of the rib is up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, does a real experienced fish cleaner use a fork and use this technique? They might not. They might just use the knife for everything. But I think this makes it a lot easier. I got that technique of using the fork from an Englishman who was cleaning mackerel. The English are very enthusiastic about fish. Name the 5 operations of fish cleaning.
Head, guts, spines, ribs, lateral line.
Heads, guts, spines, ribs, lateral lines. Okay, and what are you feeling there with your finger?
For the ribs.
The ribs?
Well, I'm looking to see if there are any more.
Any more ribs, okay. It's a good idea. Use your fingers to feel. And yeah, that's the fin that you were cutting. You were cutting above it when you should cut below it. Now what are we feeling? Are we feeling ribs or are we feeling for something else?
The lateral line.
Mm-hmm. And what's in the lateral line that causes us to want to cut it out?
The rest of the rib.
Yeah, you call them lesser ribs. I call them lateral spines. The spines are projections that come originally out of the backbone and they stick outward from the backbone to the periphery of the fish. We have spines too in our bodies, but they aren't like this. Put the index finger on the back of that blade so you can feel, yes. Do we cut all the way through the skin?
No.
You want the fish to be facing you, I mean the other way to face you, and then the tail facing out. That is easier. You'll find it's easier. As you get more skilled with this, you find that you can waste less meat. You are able to cut closer to the spines and yet still get the spines out. Okay, so we have, I guess, yes, there we go. Scoop up all the big stuff. The flipper flopper helps in cleaning up. Oh, hi, Brian.
Hey, David, FNS Bar Bakery. Can I take your order?
Oh, yeah.
What time is the crypto meeting tomorrow?
It's going to be 12 to 1. 12 to 1. And
Okay.
let's see, here's some vinegar. Here's some vinegar. Oh, and yeah, I was just teaching Maria how to clean fish. 12 to 1, right, Jim?
The what?
12 to 1, the crypto meeting. Brian's on the line.
Yes. Yeah,
It's
boy.
going to be a 1 hour meeting?
Oh, it's gonna be a little longer than that, Brian. If you wanna come by, that's, I hope.
Oh. And so, multiple washings of soap alternated with sprayings of distilled white vinegar go a long way towards taking out the fish smell. And we always want to make sure all of our fishistas, or what do you call them, our fish maids, they have clean hands afterwards. And so we let them soak down, and then we spray their hands with distilled white vinegar over and over again till they smell so clean you would never suspect that they were fish maidens. Let's turn over. Let's get under those nails. Okay, let it soak in a little bit, then rub it in. And we'll soap up again and wash, and then and the nail brush, also the nail brush. To get in those nooks and crannies. And I'll clean up the mess. I'll take the mess from here. Knife from Captain Vince Russo, cleanyourcatch.com. A chopping mat, fish chopping mat, fork, flipper flopper, a little knife, pot of water for washing your hands impromptu when you're here, a guts and head and waist vessel, and then a tray to put the fish in, as well as plenty of paper towels and a rag. This is what you should have when you're learning how to clean fish.